Welcome to Get Real, where we talk between the numbers and give you a full boots on the ground approach and analysis of what's going on here in the low country in the real estate market. It is May, so we are in kind of the tail end of spring here. And May is a month, around here where it kind of quiets down for a second between all the activity of the heritage and spring break and as we prepare for summer. So it's kind of a moment in the market where we can all take breath. But just to give you the stats real quick, new inventory is down 7.6% from this time last year. The actual amount of properties on the market right now is down 18% since this time last year. That's a big number. Inventory is really the story right now. Demand remains high and pending sales are up 8.5%. From last year, and that was something, if you recall from last time, that we said was likely going to happen. So demand and pending sales are down 45% from 2021. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Closed sales have now caught up. Again, something else we mentioned that was likely to happen, and they're sitting basically equal to this time last year. The absorption rate has dropped to 4.6%, making it definitely in the category of a seller's market. Days on market has risen to 19% since 2025. And the median sale price is up 1.8% from this time last year on Hilton Head, $771,313. But what I want to note is it's up 69% since 2021. That is huge. That is a big, big number. But again, low inventory right now is the story. It is the driver, I think, of the market. Mm-hmm. And low inventory plus the higher interest rates are pretty much protecting the prices, where they are right now from going through the roof. But wouldn't you guys say buyers are way more selective, and that is exposing mistakes with price or properties that are on the market? Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely feeling that firsthand. And it's important for sellers to understand that while it is a seller's market and you do have leverage, you have less margin for error.
You do.
And that is, I think, so true. So if you were talking to a seller right now and they said, well, since inventory is low, can I go ahead and price high and negotiate down? What would you guys say to that?
No.
Heck no.
I feel like we've been talking about it for a while. It's all about the strategy, coming on at the right price.
Coming high is failing. That strategy is failing.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not helping anyone.
And why
they're not
why
getting
is
the
that?
price.
Because there was a time where you could throw a number out there and kind of the height of COVID and everything, and you'd probably get it with no contingencies. But buyers are very analytical now.
They're very educated.
They're weighing everything.
Educated is the word.
Yeah.
Educated. They've been paying attention to the market since post-COVID, and they've been seeing what homes are selling for in the condition and in the location. They've been paying attention to it all.
Yeah.
So I think
I've noticed too, buyers are walking into houses and looking at the deferred maintenance,
Big
things
time.
such as, wood rot or paint or, whatever it is.
Even down to caulking.
Yeah, like
everything. They're paying attention to everything.
Which, I've even had someone say, paint color, which I did not have that 2 years ago. So I think that they're also weighing their options of what they have to put into the house and then looking at the price and kind of putting that on what the seller's price is, which...
Yeah, it's interesting. So if you were talking to a seller right now and you wanted to tell them, what are the gaps for somebody who is ready to sell? What are some of the things that they're just not recognizing? We can talk pricing all day, but some people still are emotionally tied to, what they think the value of their house is. They know, some lucky sale that their neighbor had, and that could simply be attributed to somebody somebody bought it because they missed out on 5 to 10 others and they were willing to overpay just because they were tired and wanted to buy. But wouldn't you say, like, it's the market and kind of what we're talking about, it's really very much about precision, pricing, and condition-driven value?
Yes.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
For sure. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think also, I used to bring comps to listing appointments within the last year. And I did do that recently. I brought, something that sold a year ago, and the seller said, I think this is such a weird market in the sense that there's no telling what something will really sell for. So I want to look at the last 3 months. And I was like, yeah, it's
and
fair.
that's good, because
It's
really
fair.
that's what you're supposed to do anyway.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, depending on where the house is and the community, sometimes you have to go outside of the last, 3 months.
Especially with low inventory. That's another.
That's the tough part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm curious what you guys think about this. But because buyers are paying attention so much to maintenance and deferred maintenance, do you think that is coming from the craze of the pandemic where they didn't do due diligence and they realized mistakes within, buying without that due diligence? I'm just curious what your take is on that.
I think it plays a part, but I don't think that's what it is for everybody, because some people didn't buy during COVID and
True.
they're still, they still don't want to do any deferred maintenance. I think has a lot to do with, everybody I've spoken to, all my clients, they don't live here and they don't want to have to do anything.
Yes.
Right? And so they don't, whether we know somebody or not, they want to do, as minimal as possible to the place, and that includes paint.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And look, sometimes a property is going to be a dog, and I say that with the utmost respect. But sometimes there are properties that just need a full gut, or they just need, or they're tear downs or whatever. And that's okay, because there are buyers for those.
Totally.
There are buyers that are looking for that.
Absolutely.
So if it is truly that, sell it as that. Right. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if not, the more you can eliminate any kind of negative thought from the second a buyer pulls in that driveway, the better the outcome is going to be from a price perspective and from time and days on market. So
I also think I've had this a lot recently. Photography just keeps getting better and better and better, especially with AI and all that now. And I had someone recently, we walked into a house and she was like, this looks absolutely nothing like the photos. Nothing. She was like, you have to see everything in person to really get an idea. And I was like, of course. But she was like, it just seems like it's misleading.
And sometimes it's the flip, like I have a house on the market right now that I've had a lot of people say, this house is so much better in person.
Yeah.
Like you just, the pictures are good, but you have to feel and experience the house.
Yeah.
And so I think it
Go both
can
ways.
kind of go both ways.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears. Let's move to buyer mindset. I know we're talking about that a little bit, but this market is a time really where you cannot, as a buyer, be waiting for prices to drop.
No.
Rates are higher at the moment. They kind of dropped and now they're back up a little bit. But, there is expected to be a change in the Fed, I think, this month. So depending on what happens there, it's likely that rates are going to move a little bit. Who knows? But anyways, with our inventory so low, historically low, there's no pressure on the prices to come down. So they're not coming down. They're not coming down.
Yeah.
No.
And I think the biggest misconception, and correct me if you guys are seeing something different, but I think buyers are thinking, well, since homes are sitting longer, I've got more negotiation power. And that's almost like a half truth, wouldn't you say? I mean, I don't know. I think average homes are sitting longer, but great homes are moving very quickly and getting multiple offers, and that's confusing buyers. Would you guys agree?
It is the most confusing market to be in.
Not all inventory is created equal.
No.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? I think really as a buyer, this is why it couldn't be more critical to work with a professional to help you find the right house. Somebody who is very integrated in the local market, is out there pounding all day long and really like experiencing and understanding, and it's really different. And I've had recent experiences too with buyers, you know, having to miss because they're so fixated on one thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not how it goes here, you know? And
I think that's the tough part too, is there's so many people coming from different markets, so they're used to their market and what's going on there, that they bring it here, and you're like, well, you're gonna lose out on this house. Like, there's no...
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't compare our market to most other markets that especially our buyers are coming from. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're coming, and obviously most people are, but you're coming from a real, true primary home market.
Right.
And we are more of a secondary home market, although obviously we have a lot of residents here, but we truly are more of a secondary home market. You know, it's just different. So, you know, the longer people wait, and this is something we say all the time, and it's not from a sales-driven place of trying to convey this message, but it's just truth. The longer you wait, the more you're going to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it for the past 4 or 5 years.
Right. And I mean, even we were saying this a year ago, 2 years ago, and the more, you know, you're driving around or talking with buyers on the phone or whatever, it's like, oh, I wish I'd bought, you know, 2 years ago or 5 years ago. And you and everyone else. Like,
same.
Yeah.
I wish I bought 12 things from when I was born. Why did my parents not do that for me?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy, and I think that a lot of people thought that the prices were going to come down, or that there was going to be some big old crash or something major was going to happen, and I think that would have already happened.
They said prices were going to come down and rates were going to come down. They just keep going up. It's like, and you can change your interest rate. You know, you cannot change what you pay for your house.
No, you can't.
And exactly. And I think that, you know, all this to be said, I don't think we're not saying rush.
No.
You know? No rush.
No.
Like, but what you need to do is understand the value and be ready to move very quickly.
And weigh the pros and cons. What's most important to you?
Yes.
And are you willing to pay more for the same house?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Or is it getting in at the right price and then figuring out, you know, what you do with it or how you use it or what, you know, it's just what's most important to you and what works best for your situation.
Yeah,
exactly. And okay, let me ask you guys this. Have you worked with a buyer recently that has experienced regret?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost all of them.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and that question of if this house sold for X amount, you know, if somebody else bought it and you didn't get it, what would that number be that you would say, darn, I would have paid that?
Yeah.
You know, it's just pride sometimes gets in the way. And sometimes the numbers just don't work, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But you don't want to have that regret.
No, and I also think I've had regret too with some people that rushed buying a house, and now they want to be somewhere different now, knowing like other neighborhoods and things like that. So that's another thing I always like to say is take your time.
Yeah. Get educated.
Get
on the
really
communities.
educated on because there's so much here, and I have so many people that move here and then they're like, wait, I can't even believe I didn't look into X or this or that neighborhood or whatever. So
I think
That's why
that's
it's important to communicate with your realtor, and really not just share like that, what you want in the house, but the lifestyle you're
yes,
seeking.
that is
100.
very important. Very important.
Yeah, I mean, every community is different and has a different lifestyle
Yep.
that it offers, and so I think that's huge.
Yeah, and I agree. I think one of the most fun parts of this job is opening people's eyes to what else is out there, because you come in as a vacationer, with the lens of vacation, and you're spending most of your time, on the south end, like in Sea Pines or Palmetto Dunes or Forest Beach, Shipyard, something like that. And that's all you know.
All you know.
And there's a whole other world out there on the island of amazing communities. So just introducing it to somebody from a different lens oftentimes is a lot of fun. And sometimes, they're stuck on where they are. And the good news is they're all good options. So,
I know.
So there's that.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad.
It's just different preferences.
It's just, it's different. So let me ask you guys this. Where do you see deals falling apart? Like from the seller side, what do you see as the issue where deals are falling apart for sellers? Where are sellers getting in their own way?
They're not seeing what the buyer is seeing, as in the deferred maintenance or things that have to be done to the property. And I think they have this idea of a number in their head they want to get or need to get. And that's when deals are falling apart.
Yeah, like a pride in their pricing, fear of regret, right?
Yeah.
Overconfidence. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had any deals fall apart, because we write offers that don't fall apart.
Oh my God, David.
But I think, the maintenance part is definitely, I've had some sellers that, have not wanted to do some maintenance and, let the buyers walk. But it's like, this is maintenance that we're going to have to do regardless for any buyer. So, might as well just do it now, rather than let this fall apart. And then, you may or may not get that price that you were at or whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of.
Let me ask you this: from a buyer side, where do you see deals falling apart with buyers? I know you obviously don't have that happen, but Bailey, where what about you?
Buyers falling apart.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I would say the exact same thing now that I'm thinking about it, because buyers are very set in their way of, this needs to be done in order for me to, I don't want to say make it a fair deal, but it's a big
like
deal.
A mistrust.
Yeah.
Mistrust.
Yeah. And
analysis paralysis.
Yeah. And then they're like, you know what? That's how they're going to act. I'm out of here. And I'm like, whatever, let's move on. Like, so, but yeah, so I think that there is some tension when it comes to that.
Yeah. Buyers are not wanting to feel like they're getting taken advantage of. Which, I totally get.
Oh,
totally.
Nobody wants to feel like that.
No, 100%. I think it's just really figuring out what the emotional drivers are, what the financial drivers are, and what the ultimate outcome is that they want before that contract's ever even written.
Yes.
So that they fully understand and,
that's one thing. Like if a problem comes up, especially maintenance wise or whatever, getting buyer or seller, getting the numbers for them so that they're not creating this fantasy in their head that it's going to cost all this amount of money.
Right.
And I just had that with some sellers. Like, there were some items that came up that they were like, you know what, just let them walk. We're not doing it. I'm like, well, we're going to have to do it regardless. Let's just get some prices first and then see what it is. And I'm like, this is going to be under $1,000. And it was it was under $1,000, and they were like, all right, we'll take care of it, and we'll, but in their head they're like, this is gonna be $5,000, and this is, this and that, and it's like, well, let's get the facts first, and then and then
that's
make a
fear-based.
decision. So.
Yeah, fear-based. So that's where it's interesting because I feel like too there's more people trying to self-represent.
Yes.
And that's fine, if that's the route you want to go. You have that
Well, if you want to get taken advantage of, self-represent.
Well, the other thing is they don't understand the contract, right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
So
that's what I mean,
I had an experience where they were self-representing. I had the seller. They thought they understood the contract. He was a prior realtor in a different state. And at the end of the day, they really screwed the seller because they walked, but anyway, we won't go into the details, but what I'm saying is I think you have to be very careful whether you're a buyer or a seller and you're working with someone who's self-representing. And the reason being, it doesn't mean it would be a bad deal. It could be great, but it also could not be because they don't understand the contract.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that's just something, to think about.
It's also nice to have someone deliver the news.
Yes. It's good to have that buffer. It's good to have that buffer. All right. So kind of, just in wrapping up today, I think really at the end of the day, preparation, strategy is key.
Yeah.
To a good result.
Education. We got to be educated on what we're doing, both buyers and sellers.
Yeah. And I would say, I think you guys would agree, speak up if you don't, but I think there's still opportunity in the market.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Whether you're a buyer, definitely as a seller, there's still really good opportunity. But that may not be the case for long. It's going to be very interesting because remember, we've got very, very low inventory.
Yeah.
And we still have high demand. We're entering into the summer, which, oftentimes things can get a little quieter on the second home market because people are vacationing with their families and
properties are rented and you can't get them in to see it.
Becomes a little more difficult to see some properties. But I think, the primary market here, it continues to surge.
Yes.
And
I feel like that's pretty steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think if you are considering buying, it's really time to ramp it up because the opportunities that exist now may not be there in a few months. So,
or they could still be there, but at a higher price.
Yeah, it may end up costing more.
Yeah.
So, and if you're thinking about selling, this is a great time. It's a great time, but we want to launch your property correctly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that is all we have today. Thanks for spending time with us. We wish you a great May and Memorial Day weekend. My daughter's getting married that weekend, so we're very excited in my house, but we look forward to seeing you in June. Take care and get real.